Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Action Comics number 144, Clark Kent's Career. Yes, a retelling or a retcon of how Clark Kent got his job at the Daily Planet. Now, if you remember, we've actually covered a version of the story before. It actually happened back in Superman number 1. We're currently in the 60s of Superman. You see, the first story in Superman number 1 is a origin story, or specifically everything that leads up to how we meet Superman in Action Comics number 1. I know we're jumping back to a lot of different Superman stories here, but bear with me. Action Comics number 1 started with Superman holding a woman who was an actual murderer and jumping to the governor's house to prove that this woman is the murderer and not the woman who's about to be executed for murder. So we get the origin of that story in Superman number 1, involving him trying to become a reporter but not getting the job. So he ends up saving the day as Superman and getting the scoop as Clark Kent. This is the same idea, just a completely different version of that. And actually, it's way more standard of a Superman story, which honestly makes it a less interesting version of how he got his job. So Clark was inspired to become a reporter by meeting Perry White when he visited Smallville one day. When he shows up, Perry White has no idea who he is and won't give him the time of day, so he can't get a job there. He keeps getting other jobs, which somehow end up with him dealing with this racketeering gang that's showing up. See, standard Superman story, just a racketeering gang that he's beating up every so often. One of these times actually involves him being a door-to-door vacuum salesman, which is very similar to what happened in I think it's Clark Kent's Dead, the death of Clark Kent. There's been a lot of stories with, death in them, but there was a story where Lois thought Clark was dead because, well, a gas main blew up where he was standing. So he tried to create a new life by going around taking other jobs under a new pseudonym, which was, I think, Kent Clarkson or something like that. It was something Kenneth Clarkson. It was something as ridiculous as that. And he got electrocuted when he's trying to sell a vacuum to a woman, revealing his costume underneath. So he couldn't live under that identity. And honestly, this is maybe way too similar to that story. But eventually he takes down the Racketeers, and Perry wants that exclusive. But he sends it to the Daily Planet, and they publish it without the approval of the editor-in-chief. Anyway, when he shows up revealing that he was the one who sent in the story that has been published, Perry remembers who he is and is very happy to give him his job. That's it. Because he's Superman, he can get exclusives very easily, or he'll help other characters, mainly Lois, get exclusives. Really, his job is mostly interviewing himself. So not like a bad story, it's just like a lesser version of a story we've already had. And honestly, I don't believe they remembered they had already told a version of the story. Okay, that is it from Action Comics 144, Clark Kent's Career. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications when new videos up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow? And if Clark's identity ever comes out, he's going to lose that job in journalism. He's been interviewing himself for decades. Okay, have a great day.